This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Alan is off tonight. Benderson Development is meeting with the community this evening to discuss the proposed Siesta Promenade. The mixed-use complex would include 150 hotel rooms, 600 residential units, and commercial space. It would be located on the northwest corner of Stickney Point Road and US 41. Some residents are worried that it could increase traffic in an already congested area.
Really impress upon Benderson the concerns of not only the Pine Shores neighborhood, but our alliance, which is the neighbors on the other side of Stickney, the concerns of folks on Siesta Key, because this proposed development is extremely dense.
We'll have more on the meeting tonight in our 11 o'clock newscast. Traffic will also be a concern for the powerboat races this weekend on Lido Key. We're only 2 days away from the annual event, and organizers are expecting nearly 10,000 people to attend. Parking is limited, so spectators are encouraged to take alternative forms of transportation.
I would encourage the scat bus. Some people are taking their bikes or their mopeds over the Ringling Bridge to go out there. And if you are going by car, Lido Beach parking lot is going to be your best bet.
And a reminder for anyone planning to take their boat to the event, you will need to take Big Pass. New Pass will be closed. Now to an update in Florida's U.S. Senate race. A new poll from the Associated Industries of Florida shows Marco Rubio with a 64% lead over Suncoast developer Carlos Baruf. Rubio announced his plans to run for a second term last week. Following the announcement, fellow Republicans Aaron DeSantis, David Jolly, Carlos Lopez Cantera, and Todd Wilcox dropped out. Baruf, though, says he plans to stay in the race and will spend millions more of his own money. Northport continues to grow, but the same cannot be said for the fire staff in the city. Northport's fire chief is asking the city commission to hire 9 new firefighters. Last year, a request to hire 3 people each year over a 3-year period failed. But this year could be different. Right now, understaffing is forcing emergency responders to work in teams of 2.
We have an active fire. It allows us to have an operator at the pump panel to monitor the equipment in case there's a failure, in case they're running low on water, and then it allows 2 people to actually operate in the fire.
Northport's Mayor Jacqueline Moore says she's confident the new hires will be worked into this year's budget. Now to a follow-up on Northport's efforts to bring a hospital to the city. Commissioners are creating a task force to lead the work. Members of the team have not been chosen yet, but city officials say it will include doctors, surgeons, and administrators. A failed attempt to get a certificate of need earlier this year cost the city more than $100,000. More details about the task force will be available at a city workshop on July 29th. In Bradenton Beach, the floating dock at the historic Bridge Street Pier is reopening. It was forced to close earlier this month because of damage from Tropical Storm Colin. Several unanchored boats crashed into the structure, but repairs have been made and it is once again open. Mayor Bill Sharon says the city is looking into plans to replace the dock altogether. And now for a check on our forecast, let's head over to Bob. Looking pretty nice out there.
Yeah, pretty nice. It has been too, Haley, with most of the showers and storms focusing inland and moving toward the east coast. Things have calmed down here considerably as far as those afternoon and evening storms go. But we're looking at a little bit better chance for some coastal showers in the morning. We'll get to that right now and take a look at a beautiful time lapse of the area beaches. This one here at Casey Key, webcam showing just a perfect sunny day out there throughout the afternoon. There were a few showers around earlier this morning. It should be a gorgeous sunset. You can see some low top cumulus clouds coming in. There are some showers way out there in the Gulf of Mexico. But as far as the weather headlines go, more morning showers anticipated over the next couple of days, and then mainly inland storms in the afternoon. The heat index will be right around 100 each and every afternoon. I mentioned that east coast wind. Now you can see a lot of it blowing up some big storms there from Orlando southward to Fort Pierce. The outflow is causing some showers to pop up, but mainly again east of I-75. There's one lone shower east of Port Charlotte and some activity just to the east of Parrish. There's a slight chance for an evening shower near the coast. More so in the morning, though. There's a chance for a few coastal showers. Have to keep an eye on this. This is way out there in the Gulf, over about 100 miles or so, and it's progressing to the east. There's not a lot of chance it'll make it all the way here, but we could see, as I said, a little bit more morning activity near the coast to start the day on Friday. The high today was 91, 76 was the low, and right now it's 88 with some sunshine. The dew point 72, and west winds are at 7. There's a little bit more moisture coming back in the mid-levels of the atmosphere too, and that will also be a player over the weekend, but more so inland. For boaters, looks good. A big boating weekend ahead, and looks like seas will be running 2 feet or less right through Monday. And as far as the water temperature goes, it's about as warm as it gets, 90. And the extended forecast is calling for an ever-present 40% chance for rain over the next 7 days, Haley. It's just the timing is a little bit off, but there could be some scattered storms along the coast as well.
Nothing we're not used to this time
That's
of year.
right.
Thank you, Bob. Coming up, is your child safe online? Human traffickers are now using social media to lure and prostitute victims. We'll show you how law enforcement is trying to stifle that when we come back.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Your support during the Grand Prix Festival makes a big difference. Loveland Center in Venice is one of 5 area nonprofit agencies receiving support from Suncoast Charities for Children and the Suncoast Foundation. Thanks to a recent grant from Suncoast Charities for Children, a multi-sensory room was renovated for clients with autism and other severe disabilities, and allowing program money to go directly to clients.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
Prostitution, the word itself conjures images of a woman on a street corner. But the reality is that most human trafficking now takes place online. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us with more on how traffickers are using the technology and what police officers are doing to counter it. Kate?
That's right, Haley. Social media is actually the #1 way that traffickers are seeking out their victims.
It's an age-old story, a woman offering sex in exchange for money. Recently, Sergeant Robert Armstrong of the Sarasota Police Department saw yet another case of it, but this time was different. It was on Facebook.
It was an open dialogue right on Facebook from 2 females.
A blatant case of sex trafficking on the internet for the world to see, and that's becoming increasingly common. According to Shared Hope International, social media is the #1 way traffickers seek out their victims. The term human trafficking evokes the image of a girl on the street and a man approaching her. But in reality, much of it takes place behind the scenes, on websites, social media, and apps, allowing predators access to nearly anyone.
It does allow, I think, predators or traffickers or pimps to prey upon vulnerable people.
But Armstrong admits those hidden aspects of online sex trafficking can make it a lower priority for the community.
A lot of that is behind closed doors, so we don't get a lot of reports about it. You know, there's not too many people that are coming forward to say, hey, I want to complain about a Backpage ad. But you're going to get complaints about a girl walking up and down North Tamiami Trail.
Dr. Brooke Bello of More to Life, an organization for victims of human trafficking, teaches young people how to avoid predators online.
When a kid has the world in their pocket, a violator has total access to them.
Bello sees that education as one of the main ways to combat human trafficking.
Long gone are the days when kids that are not responsible or still growing can have all that access to the world, because as we stated, the whole world of predators has access to them, and they are itching and discovering and luring because nobody's watching.
Those very aspects that make the internet an ideal place for predators and human trafficking also make it an ideal place for those fighting against it. In a 2012 speech, President Obama suggested fighting fire with fire.
We're turning the tables on the traffickers. Just as they are now using technology and the internet to exploit their victims, we're going to harness technology to stop them.
Derek Thompson, also of More to Life, says using online methods against online sex trafficking will be crucial.
I mean, social media, it can be used by traffickers and pimps. It's obviously a great resource and tool for them, but for the anti-trafficking community and for us at More to Life, social media is a huge tool as well.
And Armstrong says the department is actively pursuing methods of using the internet and social media to track down predators.
We are exploring a couple different options that are online, and these companies specialize in identifying sex traffickers, and they group them together by actually what they're doing online. So we're looking at these, and it's helping us identify traffickers and pimps in our area.
And Sarasota County is making progress in the fight against human trafficking. The state attorney's office reached its first conviction against a trafficker earlier this month.
That was a big step. Thank you, Kate. When we come back, we will speak with cybersecurity experts about what you can do to protect yourself and your family online.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Your support during the Grand Prix Festival makes a difference. Community Haven for Adults and Children with Disabilities is one of 5 area nonprofit agencies receiving support from Suncoast Charities for Children and the Suncoast Foundation. Thanks to a recent grant, a new roof was installed on their adult training facility. Special project funding like this ensures program and service money goes directly to clients who need it the most.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
Joining us to talk more about human trafficking is Dr. Brooke Bello, founder and CEO of More to Life, Serge Jorgensen, founder and CTO of cybersecurity company Silent, and Detective Jason Friday of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Thank you all so much for being with us this evening. Of course, something that we've been here talking about over several evenings. I'm going to start with Dr. Bello. Tell us about the messages that you're finding and what is the common link that these messages sound like or look like online.
Well, what I loved in the segment, you know, Shared Hope International are good friends. So is Demand Abolition and Alex Trudeau of Youth Spark. And so all that data pretty much says that the messaging, for instance, we spoke before about child pornography being an issue. A kid could be playing an Xbox and he just wants to play his Xbox, but he's playing online. And so we always say that the whole world is in a pocket, whether it's an iPad or a smartphone. He gets a pop-up of something that is violent, something that is pornographic. His mom might said one time, if you see any of that stuff, push it away. But after a while, he can't. And so the messaging to him is saying that it's okay, that this is okay. And eventually he goes into a world that he never thought or she never thought they'd get into, an addiction.
And when someone reaches out, what are the conversations sounding like? How do they start? What are we looking for?
For some of our youth, for decoy ads, and Serge could probably speak to this as well. Hi, how you doing? How you doing today? Oh, I see you love blue. Oh, I see you like to play at this park. Oh, I see you like to go to the mall. You know, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Melissa Snow, they have that beautiful NetSmarts Internet Safety Program, which we utilize at More to Life, and we've added to it. And so a kid could just be putting their email on Snapchat and then putting it on Facebook. And that predator will follow that, and they begin to know their likes and dislikes and sometimes start a conversation that way, or because they're a friend of a friend of a friend.
Okay, and Deputy, when you're looking at these patterns on social media, what are you all looking out for?
I think we're looking for the language that's used a lot of the times, as far as what is the conversation coming in from this individual. Are they attempting to lure and entice someone to run away or do something like that?
And Serge, how safe are we online? We are very active on social media. Some of us, it's part of our jobs. Where do we balance this, where we want to be safe and we want our kids to be safe, but we don't want them to fall victim to something like this?
You're talking to the cybersecurity guy asking how safe you are. So I'll say not safe at all. But it is a balance between we have to have our life and we have to take advantage of that technology. You can't operate, I think, in today's world without some online presence. It really is finding that balance. So it's maybe not posting your entire life on Facebook. There was a rash a while ago of people posting their vacation schedule on Facebook, and then people would go burglarize the house. And it's the same thing as Doctor was saying. If you're posting your favorite colors and where you're going to be and all of this other information in your social media account, you have to expect that somebody's going to be mining that data, and they can do some research, and all of a sudden when they approach you online, and that first appearance and approach isn't a stranger anymore. It's someone that knows what kind of ice cream you like and what your favorite color is, and that you were at the mall last night, and the names of your friends. And it's not anymore that sketchy guy that walks up to you on the street and says, "Hi, I've got some candy, come in my van." It's somebody that says, "Hey, I brought you pistachio ice cream, and I saw you last night at the mall with your friends."
Right.
And that
They're reaching out like there's a connection.
I think it forms that bond, that connection. It's no longer a stranger, it's more of a friend.
The picture of prostitution, human trafficking, once upon a time could have been, someone combing the streets, driving in their car to different tracks. Now a guy, or even a woman predator, all they have to do is sit online. That is the picture of prostitution.
So all that said, how safe are we? With care and caution, you can be safe, but it does take, I would say, awareness on parts of the parents and the adults, because kids tend to be overly trusting.
Right.
So they share a lot of information because they think they're sharing it with a small group of friends. But everything from sexting and phone sharing photos, and then that information can get taken and turned into blackmail and getting leverage against you. So you can be very safe, but with care.
That's what I just wanted to touch on, was for parents. If you all were speaking to parents and telling them this is what you should be doing as far as monitoring your child's social media, of course you want to give them some, you don't want to feel like you're just looking at every single message they're writing, but is that what we need to be doing to make sure that they're not falling victim to something like this?
I think so, to some degree. Our Internet Safety Program, which will go into Sarasota County schools, and in our family wrapping services with parents, Haley, we teach them an Internet Safety protocol. And there are certain hours your kids shouldn't be online alone. And you kind of have to monitor it with software the church can speak about that you put on their tablets and their smartphones and their computers to see what they're doing, knowing where they are. Because you have to do it, especially prepubescent, before they hit puberty, when they're responsible, when they begin to really understand how safe they really need to be. And it can affect them going to college. There was a girl a couple years ago. She gave a picture to her boyfriend. He put online, she committed suicide because she didn't know that he was going to open it up to the whole world.
And Deputy, I'm assuming that you're seeing more and more cyber crimes as the years go on.
Well, in Sarasota, of course, we tend to see a lot of scams and cyber crimes, but mainly targeting our retired elderly population. But we are seeing some of the instances we're talking about today. But a lot of the issue we have is the lack of reporting, be it for embarrassment reasons or feeling that they might not be believed in what they're telling us.
What if we're just out there and we see something on social media, say we're not the victim, we're not the one that is receiving the messages, but we notice something that looks a little off on someone else's profile page? How do we report that?
You can call your local law enforcement agency. And just calling and report does not necessarily mean that, you know, it's always better to report something than not.
It doesn't make someone guilty, it just puts you all on alert.
Correct.
And other measures that we can take on our home computers or even on our smartphones or to put on kids' smartphones, what should we be doing?
There's the standard antivirus and all those other software packages. Unfortunately, a lot of the supervision and control tools that are out there, restrictions on iPhone and grading music levels. Your kids can also Google how to defeat this, and they can get right around it. So it really is more about the awareness and being aware rather than relying on the tools. Unfortunately, we have a propensity to click on every single link that someone sends us. If I always joke about if somebody walked up to you on a street and handed you a clipboard and said, here, write down your name, address, social security number, date of birth, hair color, and eye color, and I will enter you in a chance to win a free iPad, you would walk away and not fill it out.
Exactly.
But for some reason, Detective and I see all the time lists of thousands of people that have filled this stuff out. So it's the awareness more than the tools.
And that's what I think Dr. Bello would agree with. You talked about in our previous conversations how important parenting is. And it's not just about blocking your kids, but about maybe cultivating values and what they should be, you know, communicating with others.
Yeah, I think the education, Haley, is absolutely crucial. And a lot of kids, you know, that come from fatherlessness and single parenting home don't have the necessary oversight. And a lot of the kids we see that are trafficked do come from single parent homes where there is not that oversight or even the economic status to be able to afford some of that information, or the parent doesn't have enough time to teach their kids that. And so that's what we at More to Life do. You know, we recently had a 7-life sentence for a predator here locally. And 2 of the girls that are More to Life girls were sexually violated, familial sexually, by their father. And they were re-victimized, raped here locally. And one of the things that they like to do is social media. And this particular predator, they'd go in, be Baker acted, and then when they get out, he could look at them online, and they would respond because, oh, he's the guy who works at so-and-so. And so kids just need to understand who's safe, who's not. And if you don't know them, they're not really a friend. A Facebook friend doesn't mean a real friend.
That does not mean a real friend in real life. Thank you all so much for being with us. When we come back, we'll have some viewer comments about our stories yesterday evening.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you. This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
The Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix offers 2 full days of racing just off Lido. Aquacross racing returns with more than 80 personal watercraft teams, along with 10 superstock boats, averaging 70 miles an hour. Then more than 30 powerboats take to the water many topping speeds of 100. And don't miss the Boats on Main block party and meet and greet who's in the driver's seat. Events so you can meet the racers up close and personal.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150. Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Tuesday's attack on an Istanbul airport left 44 people dead and more than 200 injured. Now the Sarasota airport is increasing its security. So here's what you had to say. Ellen Klein-Posa writes, money well spent. And Elizabeth Hacker writes, I love SRQ. It would be nice to see someone come in and run it properly. My son flew in and out of there 3 weeks ago, and there were no armed guards anywhere. If you would like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. That's all the time we have this evening. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful night.